if any of you are triggered by songs about self-cutting, suicide, I don't know why you fucking we put the title up there. I don't know why you clicked it.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing here? Get out of here. Go do something that makes you feel
Find
better.
one of the Tuesday pick-me-up songs. It'll make you feel better. I think that we do a number of these like depressing, dark songs because it's at least for me, it's always been a big part of the whole angry boy thing, right? It's just like you're angry for a reason. I was always angry because I was depressed. It is a big part of it. I think that like as a young man, hormones are part of it. You know, you're going through adolescence and whatnot. There's a lot of testosterone, and you're just angry for no reason. But for me personally, I've battled with numerous bouts of depression, and I think of taking medicine as a bit of a crutch. No one else should take that opinion. That's just my own personal opinion.
We'll take that opinion.
And so, as my wife can attest, I avoid taking medication at all costs, basically. So one of the ways I've really dealt with the depression in the past is listening to these very dark songs. It helps me to personify the pain and the darkness that I find myself in, to hear somebody else going through it, and to know that I'm not alone in this world. I'm not alone in these feelings. And it's kind of cathartic, and it helps me sometimes to get through it. And like what you talked about with the Tool one, where like sometimes you start with a song or a band that has a series that's really in that very low dark space, and then like progressively moves up into the light, kind of, so to speak. You know, you can go on that journey with them. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a recurring theme on this channel.
I have a lot of firsthand knowledge of what it's like to lose family members to suicide. Last year, I lost my fourth. So songs about suicide, songs about self-hurting, even though I wasn't depressed, I mean, maybe Mason can attest to this. I've always been kind of the optimist of the angry boys. You know, if you put the angry boys on a spectrum, I'm definitely the happier one. But I had pain. It was just more of a. I just dealt with it differently. I didn't feel bad when I went to bed. I didn't feel bad when I woke up. But artists. I mean, the reason I grabbed onto Metallica so quickly, I heard Fade to Black off Ride the Lightning, and the fact that it openly talked about suicide, it was like, shit, no one else is talking about these things that I have intimate knowledge of and have affected my world so deeply. And obviously it's a big problem. And thankfully, because of the internet, people are talking about this problem a lot more these days, and the suicide rate's gone up in our country. Listen, this is a true crisis. It's a true crisis, a mental health crisis in the country. Listening to a song that expresses these thoughts and finds healing, I do not find that with this song at all. This is the exact opposite of that feeling. It's the exact opposite of the feeling that I used to get listening to Trent Reznor sing it at the end of the Downward Spiral, which is most fucked up, because at the end of the Downward Spiral, he literally blows his brains out. It's explicitly about suicide. Johnny Cash's version is not explicitly about suicide. And so it's interesting to me that my reaction to it is so drastically different. I find hope and cathartic. I find cathartic hope in Nine Inch Nails' version where there probably shouldn't be. And largely probably because Trent really changed his life after that. He got sober. He got married. I mean, the guy has had a career, the envy of most artists. And that's the positive story you want, right?
Well,
but here we got Johnny Cash at the end of his life, after all he's already been through, overcome. He should feel so proud. And the last single he puts out right before him and June pass away is this song. I'm telling you, it is devastating for me to watch this. But also, it is probably one of the most powerful things I've ever seen in my life.
It's weird. This one is so so much, like, so much more painful in such a different way than the Nine Inch
Yes.
Nails version of it. That
Yes.
it I remember hearing it for the first time and just being like blown away by it.
All right. We're gonna have a lot to say about
Yep.
this. So let's get into it.
All
All
right.
right.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle.
I'm gonna pause it right there.
Wow.
Maybe a lot of you can relate to this. I don't know if I saw any photographs or performances by Johnny Cash past like his, the 70s, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to see him in this state without like seeing the aging process,
Yeah.
it was so shocking to me.
I,
I couldn't even focus on the song
yeah.
or the video or the imagery.
Yeah.
I just had to like process that
Yeah.
for a little bit.
I don't know. Like for me, it was his voice, right? Like his voice has
Yes.
obviously also aged, but it's got like, man, like this song, the way he sings it, it's just like from the instant he starts singing, you're just like, oh, I hear the pain in his voice. Like,
Yes.
and it,
Yep.
I mean, it's like almost to me hypnotic. And like the first few lyrics, which obviously Johnny Cash didn't write, but like the where he's talking about hurting himself, focusing on the pain because that's the only thing that's real. You know, when I always found myself in the dark places, I never got to the cutting or anything like that. We talked about this
Okay.
in other ones. I was always more of an internal one, and I always found ways to basically, mentally abuse myself and torture myself and blame myself for things that weren't my fault. So like hearing him sing it in this slow, painful voice, it like brings up a lot of those emotions again.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. All right. Let's get back to it.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end, and you could have it all. My empire of dirt, I will let you down. I will make you hurt.
Man.
There's something so interesting about the imagery, what they're doing right here.
Yeah.
Like, even the things that he's built as tributes to himself, like the Johnny Cash Museum. What is he showing to us? It's shit's closed.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, every fucking image is designed to poke at my heart. What I love about this more than the Nine Inch Nails version is the way that I don't know, there's an interesting sonic landscape with the way that the chorus kind of rises. It doesn't quite sound like an acoustic country song all of a sudden.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
like some synth.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
some
I
synth
know
textures
they add
to
in the
it.
piano and stuff like that, but yeah, there's like something more to it that I can't
Yeah.
quite place. One of the reasons I like this version so much is I don't know if it's slower or not, but it feels like I have more time to like process the meaning of the lyrics than I do on the Nine Inch Nails version of it, and really kind of
It's
like.
actually faster. It's actually faster.
Is it faster?
Yeah, it feels. I mean, it's either the same tempo or faster.
I think it's the same tempo, but there's something about it that, like, I don't know, maybe because I just feel like I have more time to like think about what it really means.
You stay the hell away from me, you hear?
What movie is that?
I
have
wear
no
this crown of thorns upon my liar's chair,
So is that the house he grew up in?
full of
gotta be,
broken thoughts I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feelings disappear. You are someone else.
Are you hearing that in your right earbud? That like discordant note that's going on? Like that's the shit I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
It's not just it. There is a textural component to this that is really capturing what made the Nine Inch Nails version not just a folk ballad.
Yeah.
Like they've transferred that over without it sounding like the Nine Inch Nails version in some way that makes sense with Johnny Cash's new his well-worn voice
Yeah.
and the skeletal arrangement.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed by the way they put this together.
Yeah, and I think I know what you're talking about, but like it's like super subtle, but it's there
It's
and
very
really helps
subtle.
to give a feeling to the song that otherwise wouldn't be there. You know, like
Yes,
it
yep.
wouldn't have that same depth to it.
All right, let's get back to it.
I am still right here. What have I become?
Here's June.
My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end.
And just let the audience know, June died. This came out in 2003.
Mhm.
The video was made in 2003. June died in May of 2003. So we're talking about months after they shot this.
Wow.
And so that line of like everyone I know goes away in the end,
Yeah.
it really hits me hard. June saved his life so many damn times, and it is no shock to me that he didn't pass away himself until June wasn't there.
Yeah.
It's no shock to me. Back to June's beautiful face. Let's do it.
My sweetest friend. Everyone I know goes away in the end. And you could have it all. My empire of dirt. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. If I could start again, a million miles away, I would keep myself. I would find a way.
Mm. What would you like to say, sir?
A couple of things. So I don't know why, but the part where like he pours the wine out and his hands kind of shaking, that's like the visual image that has always stuck with me for this song.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a little part of it. But
Well, he's surrounded by decadence.
yeah.
But he's not doesn't have the strength to hold it up anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's the imagery there.
Yeah.
And of course, coupled with the lyrics at that moment, you know,
Yeah.
my empire of dust.
Yeah.
All this shit that I bought over all these years that don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I can't take it with me.
That video is just amazing. The way they put it together, it really is a great, you know, connection of the two. The way, like you were kind of pointing it out, like how, like with the museum being empty and stuff like that, it's just amazing, and in a in a dark and negative way, I guess, you know.
I'm not used to that being expressed so late into an artist's career. I always want to believe in the fairy tale a little bit, and believe that the ones that do survive are somehow healed. But to his credit, he did not self-destruct. He tried to commit suicide several times in his life, um, intentionally, and not, you know, unintentionally, if you believe that self-destructing through drugs is unintentional. Several intentional suicidal attempts. Even after, so the walk the line movie,
Yeah.
there's a big happy ending, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Him and June get together.
Yeah.
My gosh, Mason, would you believe I believe he had 2 suicide attempts after that moment, after he married June. He got back into drugs after he
Yeah.
married June. He intentionally went and got himself lost in a fucking Tennessee cave for several days, hoping he would die in
Yeah.
there. I would just hope that he would, in his final years, he'd be happy.
Yeah.
And it just hurts me so bad that he could feel that way. And I just hope they didn't feel that way all the time.
Yeah. I can totally believe that there was a lot of turmoil in his life after the big happy ending in the Hollywood movie, because I know how Hollywood
Yes.
works, and I know
Yes,
how
of
life
course.
works. So that does not surprise
Yes,
me
yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And then the other reason it doesn't surprise me is I think that a lot of people who suffer from depression and stuff like that, it's not something that, you know, you have once, you heal from, and then you're done with it for life. It always finds a way to creep back in and cause you problems. And I
Yeah.
would agree with you. I
Yeah.
hope that maybe he just found a low moment for a couple of weeks or something like that, and then got over it and was able to
Yeah.
look back at his life and celebrate a little
Yeah.
bit. But
I can't think of anyone that was as old as he is and has put out something that impactful.
yeah,
Nobody's done that. I'm gonna call it, someone's gonna prove me wrong. As far as I know, nobody's done it.
yeah,
Nobody has captured that feeling about being that late in life, feeling like that, and put out a video that knocks it down. Every generation watches this and we're like, holy crap, Johnny Cash is amazing.
yeah.
Reminded the whole world that he was the shit right before he left this planet. Which to me, that's the part where I just kind of go, that's good shit.
Yeah.
You might have forgot about me for a while, but I'm going to make you remember. So I feel like I brought the mood down even more than the video did. So sorry about that, everybody. We'll see you next time.